One of the main reasons that people come to us as health coaches is because 1, they want to lose weight, and 2, if they have lost weight in the past, they struggle to keep it off.
That's why we've put together this short video where we go over our top 3 reasons in our experience that we find people find it very difficult to lose that weight and keep it off.
We know how confusing the world of health and fitness can be, so that's why we created this channel. So if you find our information useful, helpful, click the link below, subscribe, like our page, and don't forget to click on the bell button to like our notification.
Get our notifications.
Get our notifications.
Get notified. Right, let's get straight into it with our first reason why people fail or struggle to lose weight. So number 1, and it's an obvious one, and maybe the most important, is not knowing the energy cost of food. And what I mean more specifically is the energy cost of the macronutrient breakdown of food. And we're talking about fats, proteins, carbohydrates, and how many calories each of these different things contain. And when you look at something on your plate, having an idea of how much energy that food is going to give you.
Yeah, it's funny actually. We had my mum and dad over a few years ago and we did an actual test on them. We brought different foods out of the cupboards and out of the fridge and tried to make them think about the different macronutrients in each of the...
Yeah, it was like a sort of on the spot kind of thing, wasn't it, where I just went in and we said, well, let's just try this. Let's go and we'll pick out this can of beans or whatever.
Not that we have beans in our cupboards anymore.
Well, we had leftover beans for about 2 years since we last ate them, but good job we kept them. And we had bread and some other things, a few packets of it.
Different things, yeah.
And what exactly did we do with them?
I think it was how many calories does this food type contain? What's the protein breakdown, the carbohydrates and the fats? What's
that was it. It was like
a macronutrient.
What would you say this is, and what would you say that one? I mean, the can of tuna.
Yeah.
And
my dad said it was carbohydrates.
Yeah, so
mainly carbohydrates.
It was sort of like alarming, wasn't it? Because we expected, a good basic knowledge of, well, I think this is this, and what happened was just, it was a no man's land. It was like picking up a can of tuna and I was like, how many grams of like carbohydrates or something in this can of tuna, and was it like A, B or C, and both of them got, I would say they were 90% wrong on almost everything.
Yeah.
And it was like, woo.
Yeah, a lot to know.
a lot sort of gave us a lot of food for thought.
Yeah, and especially because they're in the 60s as well, you'd think when you get to that age you kind of know what the content is of each kind of food, but
so I mean, if you've been around for that long, you would sort of think, right, well, I know what I'm putting into my body, I know the energy cost of this, I know how to substitute that. And what we found really is that I think they're a good kind of baseline for the rest of the population, is that people just don't know what they're consuming. And further to this is, you can, if you have a good basic knowledge of the energy cost of food, you can go out and you can make adjustments to your diet, because it's not quite as simple as calories in, calories out, but that ultimately is the defining factor about where your weight will go over a long period of time. We don't advocate any fast or quick changes to your diet. Everything is always done gradually over a slow, long period. And I think the other issue we have was the kind of the weekend scenario.
Yeah, definitely. Monday to Thursday, Friday. Some people have a really good diet through the week. They have a routine with their meals, their snacks, and then it gets to the weekend and they think, oh, it's the weekend, I'll have a pizza, I'll have a beer, a glass of wine, and then the calories start stacking up and you don't realise how much of a difference that can actually make to your overall weight loss. Yeah,
I mean, we've had it in the past where we've spoken to people and it's like, a lot of our old clients, it was like, this is what they do, and they send pictures and they find themselves on a calorie deficit through the week because they follow the guidelines pretty closely. And what happens at the weekend is let's say over Monday to Friday you lose half a pound because you've done a slow reduction in your calorie intake, monitored, just observed, and people eat that back in the space of 2 hours. Sometimes they'll have that pizza and a beer or pizza and a glass of wine. It depends on the size of the pizza. You could be consuming in excess of, what would you say?
About 3,000 to 4,000 calories sometimes if it's a large pizza.
Yeah. And we've seen people go through them and it's like they think, well, 90% of the time I've been very good, but then I had a little bit of a wobble at the weekend. But that little wobble is a major wobble when it comes to energy balance. And being consistent. Okay, number 2.
Number 2, and this is a big one, it's activity level. So unless you're on your feet a lot of the day, walking around, picking things up, moving things around, the chances are you're just not getting enough activity.
So what we're talking about here is something called NEAT, and that's non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's why it's called NEAT, because it's a little bit easier to say. So this basically means activity levels that doesn't include exercise. Now we all know that we should be exercising, let's leave that aside for the minute, but what we all really need to be doing is moving more. Now the scale with which this makes a difference it can be quite significant. A 2007 study showed that if you replaced sitting with walking, energy expenditure would increase by 100 calories an hour.
This means that 2 to 3 hours of additional movement per day, rather than sitting at a desk for example, can lead to a 20 to 30 kilo decrease in weight over the course of a year. So a quick question for you all out there, how many of you actually sit for more than 2 to 3 hours a day?
Yes, and if you do sit to more than 3 hours a day, then just write in the comments section sit, because we want a bit of an experiment, because obviously we're trying to help people and we want to get feedback from people. So if you sit for more than 3 hours a day, then just type sit. Right, moving on, the third and final reason we sort of think that people fail to achieve their goals, and usually not just weight loss goals, but most goals, is willpower. It's very easy to say, yeah, and it's the easiest thing to say, but it's the hardest thing to do. Because you can have the knowledge, you can know the calorie cost of food, you can have perfect kind of nutrition. I know exactly what to do to hit my targets. You can be active on your feet every day, but there always comes a time where it's up to you to make the decision where you say, well, I know what I should eat and what I shouldn't eat. I know where I should be being active and I shouldn't be being active, but still. People make mistakes.
Especially if you've had like a long day at work as well and you're tired and you know you should be going to the gym that day and you get home and you think, oh, I'll go tomorrow, it's fine. You know, I've been on my feet for like 5 minutes extra today. I've walked up this one flight of stairs today, I'll pass it by, I'll go to the gym tomorrow. Yeah,
and this is how it starts. I mean, we can't always be perfect. We obviously slip, we make mistakes, but it's about the willpower to carry on. And we have a little saying, and the saying is this: to make long-lasting changes in your life takes 3 things. 1, the knowledge to make the right decisions. 2, the willpower to act on those decisions. And 3, the commitment to persevere when the going gets tough.
We hope you've enjoyed this video and hopefully we've given you some valuable information that you can take away and use on your own. If you do like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you have any comments for us, please write it in the comments section. We'd love to hear your feedback. And then don't forget to click the subscribe button and we will see you in the next one.
Well, yeah, and also there's one more thing as well. If you just check down in the comments section or the text, there's a link to just a little download you can use. It's a PDF cheat sheet. And in this cheat sheet, we'll give you a little breakdown of the macronutrients and just a few other little tips that you can use. Just to make things a little bit easier. That's what we're trying to do with these videos, is give you simple objectives, simple tasks, and try and, unmuddy the waters a little bit. So we'll see you next video.
Yep, see you soon.
Ciao for now.